Hello gamers, welcome back to the channel, and today we are here after quite a bit for another battle report, a fictional one. Take action in the south of Spain, and the forces of Marshal Suchet are attacking a village at the moment held by a diminished force of Spanish troops all around. And the aim of Marshal Suchet is take all the village. So there are 5 objectives: the entrances of the village plus the church. And the British are on their way to support their allies. It's a fictional scenario, so the opponent of Suchet here is Major General Picton and his 3rd Division. And the game will last 4 hours or until one of the 2 armies will break. The table here offers some interesting effect, because not only the British need to come later on due to the rules, but have to cross the 3 bridges. This stream here is fordable, but is a difficult terrain, so cannot be crossed in line and have the movement of the British force that will arrive. So they slow down the defender that will arrive on turn 6. So Italy, for the French, they will just take the village from the Spanish and then fought back the incoming British that will arrive all along this table edge. The French cavalry are divided, and is also an interesting aspect of the game, because the light cavalry was sent to scout ahead the territory and are recalled to the village by the fire of the battle. So it will arrive later on turn 6 as the British, randomly from one of the 2 short table age. While the heavy cavalry in the form of Dragoon Brigade will arrive from this road here. And the British will enter mainly from that road here or all along the table edge. But if they decided to enter there, as I say, it will be a little more difficult. British have also cavalry, heavy and light brigade, so I will decide when and which reserve will arrive first. I will take the British this time, and the French will lead by EA system that I'm testing especially for Valor and Fortitude. So coming to the list, at least of the attacker and then the small defenders, the British will enter later on. Starting on the left with the vanguard, and the vanguard is made of a Polish brigade of 2 line battalion and 1 Leger, but Leger is diminished, is half battalion of Leger in front of them in open order. Then a squadron of Polish Lancers and a gun. They are led General Sulkowski. In the center there are the main force, while the cavalry consists in the reserves. And the main force, as I said, was led by Marshal Suchet, with his strategist and stubborn trait. Stubborn got +1 to every valor test made within 12 inches from him, and 36 inches his activation is strategist. Then his forces, his main force was made in front. The 1st Brigade of General Gilly is made entirely of Leger, 1 in open order, deployed in open order, and 2 in column of attack, with an horse artillery with a 6-pounder. And attached to them as detachment of Dragoon to offer some other fire and mobility. Back up the Leger, there is another brigade, General Brenier, 3 units, 2 of line infantry, and on his left a battalion of grenadier supported by a field gun. On the right, the brigade Grandeur lead a brigade of made entirely of detachment, so 4 units of voltigeur in open order to offer skirmish and harassing fire. They are followed by General de Brigade Boselton with a brigade made of 3 battalion just deployed in mixed order. So 1 in line, 2 in the column on the flank, and they have a field gun just deployed. And finally, they are backed up by General Lacroix, and this is the larger brigade of the army, 4 line infantry battalion with 1 of veteran right here and 1 of veteran Swiss right here, backed up by a field gun was drowned. And that's it for French. In reserves we have 3 squadron of light cavalry, 2 of chasseurs en cheval and 1 of hussars, and a brigade of 2 squadron of heavy dragoons and 4 dragoons detachment on foot will arrive on the 6th turn later on as other reserves. Now moving into the small units that will defend the village, starting with a unit of guerrilla, a detachment of guerrilla protecting this wall, and then a militia battalion that protect this entrance. They are backed up by 1 unit, the 1st battalion of La Coruña infantry, and they are first line infantry, a cannon that protect the road, and in the column of attack a 2nd line infantry, 2nd line battalion. They are back up at the moment, but they are vanguard of the British, 1 detachment of 60 rifle. The rest of the British will arrive on turn 6. So now moving into the 1st turn and a quick recap at the end of it. First turn was quick as usual, but it's just seeing the fight that erupted in the outskirts of the village, while according to the EA system, the French launch an all-out assault on all the 3 sectors. But the only battalion that can reach the fight is the 4th Leger, which engaged the guerrilla and shaking them. The Spaniard fight bravely and inflict a 2nd casualty to the battalion. The first one was inflicted by the fire at the beginning of the fight phase for the Spanish. All along the line, the French advanced with everything. The voltigeur skirmisher advanced and wrecking fire into the British, causing 1 casualty with artillery but not with their muskets. The dragoons taking position on the flank, the rest of the French advance set aside General Brenier, which failed to activate. The Polish, according to the plan, engaged the flank with cavalry and treating the 2nd line battalion of the Spanish, while the rest of the brigade advanced to take position to protect the flank from the British counter-strike that will arrive soon enough. And that's it for the 1st turn. I'm moving into the 2nd one. The 2nd turn is over, and essentially the French crush almost all the Spanish defender, despite the incompetence of Brenier, which again failed to activate, but Suchet compensate, moving the Lacroix to his left to occupy the village, and eventually will move Brenier on the right to take the place of the more efficient general. What happened in this turn? The Spanish, completely inept general of the Spaniard failed to activate, and so I have to spend all my 2 cards just to try a counter-strike, and the line battalion that was there tried to crush the Leger, but they passed their morale. And then in the French turn, this column charged in and crushed them, while the other Leger, the 2nd Leger, destroyed the militia that defending the edge of the village. Well, according to the card that order and engage, tactical tactical engage offer the charge on the flank of the artillery, and the lancers crush the battery, and that's it for the turn. The fire, for the combined fire from all the voltigeurs screen shaking the 60 rifle into the church, while the fire of the dragoon on this flank put two casualty into the last and lonely battalion that defend the village. And now we'll see what has happened. I have to put a casualty into the lancers that take some retaliation from the battery. The Polish has moved forward, and according to their order to protect the flank, exploiting this advantage, take this objective, and the rest of the brigade prepare themselves to protect the flank of the village from the British. Now moving into the turn 3. End of the third turn, and the Spanish defender was overwhelmed and surrendered or been destroyed. So the French swarmed the village on every side. Just the Polish didn't receive the order and so stay where they are, but they are just in position, so it was quite good. In any way, the Legers finally clear the front of the village and now prepare to left the position to the Lacroix brigade that is advancing. Finally, Brenier activate and move at the double. There are no more enemy to take the left flank, and the Bosselton brigade is moving forward to take the impact of the British that will arrive in 3 turns, so they have time to move to take all the village in the next 3 turns, while the screen of voltigeurs occupy the church and the woods and prepare to make a screen to protect the right flank. Now seems correct that the attacker, that was the French, moved to defend, and now swapping the card from central attack to central defend. Now we'll proceed to quickly third, fourth, and with 4 and 5 fifth turn to move and deploy correctly the French to defend, and then from the 6th turn I start to make a usual alternate first for the Brits and then for the French and so on. So at the moment Picton will enter with a defeat for this crushing brigade, but it's supposed to be, so we'll see. We're back at the end of the 5th turn for a quick recap on how the French shall prepare their defense, and then start the counter-strike battle with the British that arrive and try to retake this village from the hand French of Marshal Suchet. At the end of the 5th turn, this is the situation. The Polish brigade has taken a defensive line on the left side of the French. They deploy in line the 1st Battalion and recall the cavalry. Cavalry failed to activate receive the messenger, so have no time to try to rally. Here we have the 1st Brigade, the Gilly Leger, which have to maneuver two times both the turn to allow the other unit to pass, so have no time to try to rally. But they are now in a reserve position and have plenty of time to try to rally. At the moment they have no enemy within 12 inches, so it could be easy a task. Lacroix had taken the center of the village, taking and protecting the objective of the church. He's deployed in mixed order and deploys artillery protecting the left entrance of the village. While Bosselton is taking position, is now the leading brigade, the leader defense, and put 2 of this battalion in line to protect the main entrance of the village, the cannon along the road, and the veteran column beside the line to counter-strike eventually British attack. On the left side we have the light division, light brigade, made of a voltigeur screen that failed to activate one turn, and the other one is moving forward, swapping the unit to take casualty into the woods for more protection. The other make a veil, one is in the church. And back of them, the Brenier brigade with its 3 battalion in column, ready to maneuver where they are needed protecting the right flank or entering the village and offer counter-strike. And now we're moving into the 6th turn with the activation of the British that start to arrive with their reserves. So the 6th turn is over for the British, and essentially it's a movement turn because all the force has moved over the region and the sea or the village, and they are taking their movement towards the small river and ready to attack. Starting with the left British wings, I deploy General Lowe with his King German Legion 2 Line Battalion ready to move across the bridge. One unit, a detachment of riflemen, no, they are musketeers, and then the 2nd battalion of the King German Legion in open order, supported by a field gun. Then one brigade under Major General Tilson, and we have the 79 Highlanders, veteran with Lee melee tenacity upgrade, then 4 Line Battalion. Now they are packed in attack column to cross the river, 1 in line due to the space, and supported by 1 detachment or a company of the 60 rifle and 1 field gun. In the center, directly under Major General Ferguson, there are another brigade of 5 battalion. This time veteran part are both the 40 line and the 42nd Island Black Watch. The other are regular line and light infantry. In front of them, and a spirited movement of Anson with his 3 battalion of light dragoon ready to attack the French and ready to take the severe fire that the French will certainly deliver in their first turn. This brigade is supported by this field gun here and 1 company of the 60 rifle. Then on the right, I decided to try an envelope maneuver with my heavy dragoons and a horse artillery battle, supported by the Portuguese brigade, led by Coleman, with the 3 battalion of regular infantry. They are essential British in all aspects except the disciplined musketry, and 1 detachment of detachment is not the correct way because may confirm a squadron attached made of hussars and a field gun deployed right here, and a troop of Cazador, a light battalion of Cazador elves stringed. And that's it for the Brits. So all the British forces are in. Now moving into the French with fire and the entrance of the light cavalry. Bosselthorne Division opened fire with their line battalion and artillery and put 2 casualties in this and 2 casualties in this battalion of light dragoons. Then the rest of the French set aside the Polish, activate and move slightly forward the Central Division and that one, while the screen of voltage open up and engage with fire without any casualty into the British King German Legion. Now the Polish fail to activate, so I drop a card to activate at least the light battalion to take safe cover into the woods, protecting themselves as best as they can. And then enter the light cavalry on this side here, and according to the probe they maneuver, putting the 5th Hussars here to menace this side, while at the moment the 2 chasseurs and cheval are on reserves, and the artillery is deployed for the next turn. They are led by freshly painted miniatures of La Salle, even if it's not La Salle, and I hope that the freshly painted job will not mean the usual disaster for the miniatures. The other reserves is here, enter the main road, is a Dragoon Brigade, 2 units of heavy Dragoon. At the moment they move here, and later decision will decide where they go. And the 4 detachment of infantry, dismounted dragoon, that is there to increase the number of the brigade and offer support. Probably they will be left behind, and even in place where they do not need activation set aside emergency, but they are there to die. They are cannon fodder of the division. And that's it for the French turn, and now moving into the British turn. The British turn start with the firing from the artillery, both these 2 batteries supported by the rifle company, and both of them inflict 3 casualties in this and this infantry. Then picked an order and some cavalry to charge in. One of the battalion, using surprise attack, charge and destroy one of the voltigeur here, but the brigade passed their Valor test. The other 2 cavalry shaken both the French infantry, but take enough casualty to lose both of them the melee and fail their Valor test. So both the light dragoon were destroyed, but Anson passed both its Valor test. The rest of the British advance steadily across the bridge or across the river, and the King German Legion managed to deploy in line over the bridge on this side. While here, the 51st Light Battalion open order to reduce the casualty. The Portuguese failed to activate the order in the chaos of the battle, didn't reach the commander, the Portuguese general, so they stay where they are awaiting order, and this also stacked the heavy cavalry for all the British. And that's it for the turn. Now moving into the French turn. The French turn is essentially all maneuver and failed activation. The Boselton Brigade shoot with the skirmisher and try to rally his line platoon, but on 8 roll no 6s appeared, so they stay where they are. Their combined shooting inflict 1 casualty into this light battalion for the British here. The artillery fire put 1 casualty into this one. The Polish has maneuvered their cavalry as the one down there. As you can see, they move forward to protect the flank, while the light cavalry didn't receive the order, so stay where they are. The other brigade has moved forward inside the village. The Leger is moving closer, and this brigade here is also moved closer and charge the cavalry. But the charge that looks on the paper a perfect strategy to crush a brigade reveal a disaster, because this column here only hit once, and the defender, despite being shaken, hit once, so the infantry lose the melee and were destroyed, and so the French have to take a fortitude test. The British fire phase, despite being very short, caused lots of havoc amongst the French main brigade, so Boselton Brigade, because this artillery, despite cover, hit twice, and the battalion in line that previously failed to rally failed one of the 2 morale on a 2+, because it was 3 for the fire phase plus 1 for the stubborn ability of Suchet, but on the shame of the battalion and in face of their general, they fled the field. And to add insult to the damage, the other line battalion, which is also shaken, seeing their partner battalion fleeing, also left the field. So the first main line of defense was broken with just a couple of cannonball. And that's it for the fire phase. Now moving into the activation. Some other casualty are sent here and there by the British fire, but this is so sporadic that it really doesn't matter. I do not expect this success with a single battery of artillery. Now moving into the activation. Pretty successful British turn. The King German Legion started to clear the flank and then wished to converge on the flank of the village. At the moment, one of the voltigeur detachment were destroyed. The disaster of the cavalry, because it charged the battery and it was destroyed by the canister range. He inflicted one casualty, but he lost the melee and failed its Valor test, and this means that the brigade was shattered. So two defeat inflicted to Picton. On the center, things goes better because two units take the line defensive position across between the French and then put some barrier for the retaliation that will arrive. And this light battalion here successfully charge the battery in front of them and destroy. They probably suffer badly in the French turn, but we'll see. And on this side, the Portuguese successfully activated. They move the cavalry in a safer position, move this unit forward and the other battalion forward. At the moment, they are not able to cross the bridge, so I have to clear the road for the cavalry, which punily failed to activate. So Picton is not at all happy at the ability to receive his order by this officer, but at the moment it is what it is. Now moving into the French turn. And the French turn is over. Their fire is pretty effective. One casualty put on this battalion, or one casualty on this battalion, two casualty on this battalion with a simple fire. And then the fire kill and destroy, disperse the hussars of the Portuguese brigade, while the cannons from the hill did nothing, but the cannon down there put a casualty into this column. In the center, when start the activation, the Boselton brigade successfully charged, while the Lacroix brigade failed to activate, and the EA have to spend one of his card, the 10, to charge, because the EA dictated they have to charge if possible. On the other side, the Lacroix brigade, again failed to activate. His fourth or fifth time in 8-9 turn that it's failed to activate, and to put some credible counter-attack against the British that is coming, and a monk finish to cross the river. So this could be a problem in the next turns. Returning to the center, the counter-attack of the Boselton brigade is a mixed bag here. The Cornwall battalion was shaken, but he also shaken back the veterans on this side. The line that charged in inflict enough casualty to the 51st to take a 3 Valor test, which bravely pass. On this side, the Swiss veteran inflict 3 casualty and take 2 in return. For the card, the first Leger were promoted Grognard thanks to the card drone. The Polish and the light cavalry just rearranged themselves because they have to react to the enemy, and the Portuguese at the moment are blocked by the presence of so many cavalry, and the British cavalry is also stuck on the side of the river. Moving now into the British turn. A mixed bag turn for the British. The King German Legion successfully destroyed a battery by taking casualty in return, but occupied the woods straight in the flank of the French now. In the center, the situation is a stalemate, because now all the battalions involved in the melee are exhausted. And Now they have to take 3 tests because they lose. Here are the French that lose the game, did the battle, and shaken, and the same here, the exchange of it from both the battalion exhausted all of them. So now this unit here, the British had to take 3 Fortitude Valor test. So the first one is just a fail, so it's gone. We'll see on a 2+. Okay, the Valor is gone. Is good. So this one now is gone. Anyway, is it still on a stalemate on the center. On the right flank, finally, the cavalry successfully activated and crossed the bridge, and now they will take action. Now the French will have to react at a serious threat, while the Portuguese successfully clear the wood and move forward at least 1 battalion. Now we'll see. We're moving into the French turn and see what has happened. The French turn is over, and Brenier division is a complete disappointment. Even with the assault, all-out assault play on his brigade, he failed to crush the unit into the woods and also been shaken in return. And 2 units taking 3 casualties just to break 1 battalion of the King German Legion, which passed his Valor test. The stalemate in the center continue despite the amount of dice rolled. No 6, no 6s rolled, and so all the French battalion has failed to rally. The only chicken was taken away using the card. And in the subsequent melee, the 51st exploited another success, forcing them to take 2 Valor tests. And here in this battalion here has lose the melee, failed to hit 1 single time the French, the Swiss in reality, and have to take 2 Valor tests. He passed both. The French failed 1, but have the card to auto-pass 1 morale. So the stalemate continue on this side. The charge of the Polish into the heavy dragoon miserably failed, and the elite of the British cavalry take down the Polish and disperse the survival. And that's it for the French turn. And now moving into the British turn, when less than an hour separe the 2 continents to the end of this battle. What a tremendous, terrific turn for the British, because the only light in this time was the Grenadier here, which passed 2 Valor tests, being beaten by the exhausted, now exhausted, they rally, exhausted battalion of King German Legion. Then the fire for the King German Legion and other units exhausted this unit here and put casualty here, and then in the center the melee arrived to the British with the Black Watch that finally crushed the veteran here, and this battalion also crushed the Swiss, and both taking no casualty in return. The line here finally crushed the 51st, and this is the only victory achieved by the French. The dice is turning out for the British now, and this is bad because the EA works so good in the chain of decision that it's quite frustrating to see the French take so many casualty and so many turnover during this game that play as I will played. Anyway, Suchet take 2 defeat due to the destruction of the Busalton Brigade. And on that side, the cavalry finally unleash, cause havoc among the French and the Polish. The exhausted squadron charge and put 2 casualty, winning the battle against this chasseur. The other chasseurs were dispersed by the charge of the heavy dragoon, which overtake the survivor and crush the battery behind them. I had to put 2 casualty, but they took just 2 casualty in the previous melee. The cannon failed to do anything, and this caused a defeat to the light cavalry and a defeat to the Polish brigade. and both the defeat means that more casualties are spread out, so the hussars now are shaken, both the line take casualty. And then thanks to the card that allow an entire brigade to take a free activation after melee, the Portuguese complete the crossing the river and enter in threatening range of the Polish with the entire its entire brigade. And that's it for the British turn. And now moving into the French turn and see if they can stop the British and retake the objective. Otherwise, the tide of the game will change. Will changing now and probably cannot be retaken if the French fail to do something good in this turn. Again, the AA made the right decision for the French. On this side, they have to relieve, so they pull back and gain the time, giving ground for time, and the center the opportunity to charge the depleted battalion was exploited. Otherwise, the only maneuver to counter the enemy, and so they did, crushing this British battalion here and take a position to contest the objective at least, or to try to control it and repel the British. On this side, an exploitment of the heavy cavalry, which successfully crushed here one of the heavy dragoon, and both the light cavalry that managed to charge into the flank and fight against the heavy dragoon, succeeding crush them and destroy the brigade. The Portuguese was beaten back by the Polish on that side, but no defeat is taken. Picked and take to defeat because the destruction of the heavy cavalry, and that's it. At the moment the situation is this, with one objective at the moment in the end of the British, one contested, and if the British manage to grab it, it will be 2 points, and the 3 other objectives firmly in the hand of the French. And now proceeding to start the last turn for the British, and then the final turn for the French. The defeat probably will decide this game, but we'll see at the end of the British turn. The games for the British is over, their last turn is ended, and they fire with all what they can and destroy one battalion here. They charge in and lost the melee against the grognard of the 1st Léger. At the moment the objective is still in the hand, but French can easily contest it. The same did here, the 42nd Black Watch destroy the Léger in front of them and take the objective, but it's just contested by this shaken battalion, so it's no needed for the French to enter the melee. Stay put, shoot at best and contest the objective. On this side, the fire destroyed the 5th Hussar on the corner down there, but they passed the morale. Other fire from the woods, shaking the Polish in front, put 2 casualties into the heavy dragoon, and that's it. Now in the French last turn, but as I said, it will be all on the defeat because it's very, very, very close. At the moment I have no idea, I not count the defeat, so we'll see at the end of the French turn who will win this close battle. The French last turn was very, very, very short. The grenadier shot on the wood without cause any damage. Some fire from artillery and the combined support of this column and the voltige put 4 casualties into this battalion here, which now are shaken because they were charged by the Grognard, which won 4-2, where they passed their 3 morale. So this objective is contested. So now on the side the one of the battalion were broken by the combined fire of artillery and the Polish fire and inflict a defeat to the Portuguese. So now moving to make the count of the points to see who is the winner of this game. And this is the result. 7 defeat inflicted from both sides, but the French held firmly 3 objectives. So it's 13-7 for the French. And this is, for me, my opinion, a very fair and correct result, because the EA has winner against me. I try to do my best, but the EA roll very good solution, and every single turn, maybe just one, but almost every single turn you get the right decision, the right choice for both the flank, the center, and the other flank. And so all in all, doing what the EA dictated, the French managed to win the village to the Spanish early on, and then crush the counter-strike and contest the 2 objectives, but held firmly the 3. The British were quite crowded and failed to break the stalemate in the center here for 3 or 4 turns, can't remember, but on the other side the French held bravely the center and forced the British back, because if this 2 objective was taken as 3 points for the British is not enough, but they are too slow to get into the French. Honestly, Picton with is untractable and is overambitious trait forced the British to bad decision, because a couple of times, if I am free to take decision, I will refresh the troop in the front line rather than fight with exhausted battalion. But it is what it is. I'm happy that my system for the solo game works, and the AA beat me, and is proof that it works properly. So that's it. Thank you for watching. It will end in a quite long battle rap, but if you like it, press the like button. If you don't, I've just did subscribe. It will help. Thank you for watching. Happy wargaming. To the next week. Bye bye.